Okay, folks, so you all remember me running my mouth about who is the true racist? Well, guess what? Joe Robin Beijing Bunker gave half of the answer to that question, and we're going to let an individual that actually feels what it's supposed to be that the mainstream media has nothing to say about. Just to also show they are the biased, racist, hate mongering, socialist, CCP bought narrative news. In case you all have forgot, here is the video that I am going to provide that Biden provides half of the answer as to who is truly the racist of them all. Is it the Conservative Party or the Liberal Party?
Let's check it out.
A lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccine.
But what?
Now we have the reaction of another individual about the comment that the liberal inserted president made. Let's see what she has to say. Or actually, let's hear and see what Miguel has to say about it.
Hello?
Hey, what you doing?
Girl, trying to figure out how to work the internet.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know how to work it.
What you mean? You have 1,000 social media accounts.
Well, Joe Biden said black people don't know how to work the internet, so I'm damn it! If only I wasn't black.
Now, we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to a conversation Mr. Crowder had with a well-respected individual. But here's the thing. His comments are unbiased. Because get this one. He doesn't vote. So you get to count him out about being an Uncle Tom or a racist. Now, this conversation is going to carry off in a little bit of length, but not much. But I want you to listen and pay attention. Why do you need to pay attention? Because for 4 fucking years and a half now, Beijing Bunker Biden CCP paid. Get it? Paid. They own stock in every news media on the mainstream. So let's hear him out.
And stuff like that. And the issue here is obviously identifying people exclusively by their race is a problem. But I will say something here as a white person. I do feel a privilege, and I talked with someone about this at the Change My Mind, where I have not, as a white man, no one says, you have to fit into this specific box. In other words, when I'm a kid, I can listen to metal, I can listen to hip-hop, I can listen to country, and no one says, you're not white enough. You know, whereas I had a black friend who was an Iron Maiden fan, and his friend said, like, man, you're not black. And I go, oh, that's not something I really experience. And you get that in the media, too, where it's, you don't have the right opinions as black. And what's interesting is the overwhelming majority of black Americans want at least as much or more police presence than they currently have in their communities. And we've been talking about this, and I go to a church that's mixed. I feel, and I know a lot of the black people there, even though they're Christians, they vote Democrat, but I feel a lot more comfortable around black Democrats, we have more in common than the white Democrats right now. It's almost like black Democrats, if you look at the actual in America, as opposed to who's speaking in the media, they're the moderate wing of the Democratic Party. Your views that you're talking about right now are far more representative, statistically, in poll after poll, of the average black American than the talking head on CNN. Why is it white people on Twitter removing you for having the wrong black opinion?
Because, Stephen, and this is just the truth, and I'm sorry anybody gets offended by it, the white liberal is the actual out-of-the-closet bigot. The white liberal is the direct descendant mentally and world point of view as it relates to race, the direct descendant of slave owners and bigots. They believe that black is a special category of human beings that restricts your freedom.
Right.
And that's what they believed in 1600s. That's what these white liberals believe now. And that's why they want to capitalize the B in black, because we're a special category of human beings. Yeah. And so we want to designate them over here, and they can only think one way. And just as you said, we're the only people that have no political freedom, because if we, and again, I'm a non-voter, and I tend to abhor politics and politicians on both sides. I have in recent years just discovered man, this white liberal thing, this is some pure racism. I just don't see that pure racism on the other side. But as black people, again, if you think any conservative thought, if you stay true to what you were taught in the church, oh my God, you've sold black people out. Right. And I just refuse to do that. I would rather have groupthink and social media think I'm a sellout of my skin color than to think I'm a sellout of Jesus Christ and my Christian beliefs. I'm going to stand on
Careful, Jesus Christ. Now you're getting into Western civilization and patriarchy. We have to be careful. We need a female deity.
I'm a patriarch.
Yeah, you are a patriarch. That's also one thing, too, I will say. It's this unholy alliance, because when you look at liberals and they talk about the patriarchy, I go, do you understand that in the black community, gender roles are way more clearly defined? They don't have a problem with this idea of masculinity either. They just want black people's votes, the liberals. Yeah.
Word. Yeah. You got to use the word word, because they're blurring those lines, and they've been very effective. This little mind control thing they do, if the number one thing you can do as a black person is hate Donald Trump. That's how you prove that you're black. And we got to snap out of that.
Yeah.
The number one thing you can do as a black person is be responsible for yourself and be responsible for whatever you create on this planet. And that's how, but they've just, you got to hate Donald Trump. You got to think all white people and Republicans are your enemy. And none of it is about the man in the mirror. It's always about someone outside who's in control of your life. And it drives me crazy. I sit and laugh, and I'm listening to you talk about the church you go to and being mixed race. And it confirms a thought that I had about you, just following you and your show and the controversy from afar. The reason why you're so daring is because in your actual life, you don't live a racist life. And so it makes you more fearless in your public job on this show. Whereas,
keep in mind that last statement before you go spitting out fucking bullshit. I'm ballsy. If a Republican is wrong, I call him out. I hold no quarter. If you was on the battlefield, I will hold no quarter. And now, here's Johnny.
With his long record facing a new look under the spotlight of the 2020 campaign.
Gentlemen and ladies of the Senate.
One chapter receiving fresh scrutiny comes from his earliest years in the Senate, when he strongly opposed mandatory school busing. It was designed to achieve integration and a more equitable education. It was the mid-1970s. Biden favored desegregation, but not through busing. What's less known is how he followed the lead of some of the Senate's most fervent segregationists. In a series of never-before-published letters reviewed by CNN, the strength of Biden's opposition to busing comes into sharper focus. On March 25, 1977, Biden wrote, "My bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits the federal courts from disrupting our educational system." Biden sought and received support from Mississippi Senator James Eastland, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and a leading symbol of Southern resistance to desegregation. He frequently spoke of blacks as, quote, an inferior race.
Now, I haven't heard anything about shit like this from a conservative party. Understand? Now let's listen to how many were in that caucus back in his day of desegregation.
A bunch of racists. There was, James O. East of Mississippi, Strom Thurmond, and so on. There were 9 guys who were in the caucus that were, I ran against in the civil rights.
More like ran with, according to your letters. And your own news source put it out there because they were pushing for a Bernie. Yeah, they were pushing for Bernie, the socialist. Little did they know he's socialist in his ass. He's proven it today, Junior. You gotta remember, all these mainstream medias are being paid by the CCP with 40% in each one of their stocks. They wanted to introduce socialism. But they have him, this piece of garbage, in Xi's back pocket. So, yeah, he had to go woke socialist on everybody because nobody wanted Bernie Bros. I see you, CCP, and I just one-upped you. Xi Jinping Pooh Bear and the big man on Crowder called you out, Beijing Bunker Biden, for the bigot, racist you are. So now that I have all the proof in the pudding, have a nice day. Socialist, hate mongering, race baiting, Nazi wannabe Democrats of the Democratic, Democratic. That's right, Democratic Party.